Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds?
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, it's What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Just like a virus, you thought we were gone, but no, we occasionally come back. Why? Lots to cover. NFL news. We have fantasy champions to crown. We've got gambling people to talk about. We've got a beautiful battle between Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers to discuss. And of course, everyone's favorite Epstein list was just released. Lucas, I guess you were perusing it before we started. My main question is, fingers crossed, am I on it?
Not yet.
Damn it. What are you up to? And by the way, I have some thoughts on this. I don't think this is kind of like the shittiest way to do this. Like this could have been done really great. Like, first of all, I think it's a bust, and I think everyone that's on it that we're going to find out about, we already knew. So there's not really any shocking information. But had we not known, and had they had a real fucking piece of like a gem behind it, you really could have done this like well, and you could have had like someone come out and read it, like, like I know it's a big, but like the 9/11 people, like the way they do them one by one, they read them, but we don't do it alphabetical. We want everybody on edge the entire time. Like I want everybody to be like, oof, am I next? So like, you're like, hey, it's Jim Costas. And it's like, is that Costas with a C or a K? You're like, doesn't matter, dude. You could be next. That's what I wanted. That's really the internet dropping it. Everyone gets to read it at home by themselves. That's kind of boring. I want, like, this could have been a Super Bowl event. If they read it, if it was juicy, it could have been a pay-per-view event where they read the names non-alphabetically in front of the entire world. Jimmy Kimmel, James Kimmel.
Apparently, he's not on the list, and
He's not on the list.
It could get very interesting for Aaron Rodgers this offseason.
Oh my God. Can I say something right now, dude? I'm going to say something right now, okay? This is I'm not always on Aaron Rodgers' side. I don't always agree, but like and Jimmy's, I could tell Jimmy's become more of a person that's going to be like a spokesperson and sort of a voice of reason. Let's have some sort of sanity in the world. And once you start to do that, our job is to be a little insane and say crazy shit once in a while, and you lose legitimacy then when you want to try to cover real fucking news. So Jimmy's become a bit of a serious person too. So for him to kind of start, I guess I didn't even really know they had a beef back and forth, but for him to start with Aaron Rodgers with the vaccine thing, fine. Did Rodgers take offense to it? Yeah, he's got a weird ego too. But for then to him come back and make a pretty innocuous, dumb comment, like it could have been anyone, he said. He picked Jimmy Kimmel, like the way Jimmy Kimmel would have picked Matt Damon if he was going to make the same joke. They like each other, but there's that ongoing feud, and you would say someone's name who, like you wouldn't want to have your name put. It's for Jimmy Kimmel to take this and his first tweet out the box. Did you guys read that? What he wrote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have the tweet? Because I think it starts off with like,
hey, asshole.
Hey, asshole. Yeah. Like, it's not like there's no tongue-in-cheek joking about this
Actually,
at all.
it was dear asshole.
In his mind, like Aaron Rodgers completely crossed the line. And what he did was, if you're Jimmy Kimmel, your name's not on the fucking list, dude. So just take it as a joke. Take it as a joke and write. And if you want a joke, he's good at that sometimes. Write a joke back. Write something stupid back. It doesn't, like, I just was like completely on the side of Aaron Rodgers on this one. The guy's a comedian and he can't even take a joke. It was a joke. Everyone knows it's a joke. No one expected Jimmy Kimmel's name to be on the list. It's ridiculous. and to threaten lawsuits over a joke. It's
I mean,
old.
it's a real cluster. I mean, think of the clusterfuck for ESPN though.
Yeah, because that's what happened. Jimmy got his fucking panties in a wad. He wrote the tweet. That wasn't good enough. So he called Bob Iger and was like, I want an apology from someone. Either you're going to fucking call Aaron Rodgers yourself and make him apologize in some fashion, or you're going to get McAcunt to do it because he's your new puppet, but I'm a bigger fish. McAfee's a big fucking dude at ESPN. You could tell there's some people that aren't psyched. I could tell Mike Wilbon isn't thrilled that McAfee gets to wear, wear sleeveless shit and curses. And, I think he kind of, so you could tell that like he's the new guy with a big contract on the team, but he did it. He was like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have brought it up, blah, blah, blah. Because he's got to cover for his fucking, the guy that's writing his check and the reason, and the other guy the reason they're writing the check. Aaron Rodgers makes more money off of ESPN than most hosts on that network, just via the Pat McAfee show. Let's be honest.
Good point. Yeah.
So there's no reason to think that there's not like everyone involved here knew exactly what was going to go on. Everyone. Aaron Rodgers knew he would fucking stir it up a little bit when he said that. He didn't pick that name willy-nilly. I'm sure they have a little rundown the way most people do. We do. Everyone does, of things we want to talk about before the show. Oh, I don't think Epstein, I think Pat McAfee saying, oh, I just brought Epstein's list up out of the blue. That's a cover, Everyone's going to talk about it this week. It's a fucking thing that everyone's covering. So even in a passing sense, you knew you were going to get involved. And I'm sure he told Aaron, hey, we might bring this up. We might bring that up. This is who we're going to talk about. So I'm sure he might have a joke loaded. All right, great. And that was his joke, and I don't fucking mind it. It's a stupid joke, okay? The only way it's not funny is if his name really was on the list. The only other way it's not funny is exactly the way it's happening right now, is when you make it awkward and realize it's not a fucking joke. It's a joke. Taking it not as a joke. It's the most ridiculous fucking thing in the world to get all upset. Give me a break. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, am I wrong, Lucas? Tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
Tracy told me, my wife told me I was wrong. She goes, some things you don't joke about. It crossed the line. His family. I go, what do you mean his family was in danger?
I'm with your wife.
His family in danger?
Yeah, I'm with your wife too.
Who in the world believed that Jimmy Kimmel was on Epstein's list? Who?
The internet. And the internet's full of psychos. And as someone who works in social media and gets to experience those psychos on a daily basis, if you just plant the seed that this guy, who is already on his show pretty outspoken on the left, and there's this battle going on of all these people on the right are on the list, all these people on the left are on the list. Yeah, they're going to come after him. They're going to call him a pedophile and a rapist and et cetera, et cetera. Like, he's going to get harassed just for the 3 seconds that Aaron Rodgers brought his name up.
You want to know how he wouldn't
years.
have gotten harassed? I have 2 points to counter your point. Okay, number one, as someone who has been through shit, and I'm not bringing up my thing again. It was almost 10 years ago, but I still to this day, because of my stupid 9/11 stuff, it happens every year. So every year it gets drummed up. Every fucking year, right around 9/11, I get all, and then it comes and goes, but I get it all the fucking time. Do you know how many people in real life have ever come up to me, ever, and been like, you're a fucking asshole. You're a piece of shit to my face for that. Let's maybe for that in that context, because they're pissed about that. Other issues, that's aside, but because of that, zero.
I get that.
You know how many people have
but what you're
online,
saying,
they're going to kill me? Yeah, a couple here and there. Yes,
we're talking about the difference between you actually being the person behind 9/11 and you just saying that you were there, and saying Kimmel was actually the person on the island raping children. And
Brendan, I don't want to split hairs here. I'm saying people honestly, they still blame me. There is plenty of people out there that look at me like I'm the reason why. So and that's not, I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you the lunacy level. I understand the level of But what I'm saying is those people don't go out and do any. They're just idiot trolls on the internet. So if you're worried about
I get
that,
that.
then you're a fucking bigger bitch than anything.
But
Just
here's another
you should
counterpoint.
lean into it. He should
Here's
have been
another
like, you know what?
counterpoint, Steve. What if
What?
what if you never had said anything about, you never told anything about 9/11, but I made a joke about it, and now you're getting the same level of harassment just because I made a joke about it, even though you never did the thing, you never had anything to do with it. Like, that's what Jimmy's going through now. He's not on
Guy,
the list.
every single time. Do you don't think when what's his name? From Comedy Central, he didn't get the Daily Show because of it. Hassan Minaj. You don't think when that thing came up, I didn't say it, but I don't hate Hassan Minaj because of what because if he said did something stupid and I got dragged into it.
But
What am I gonna do?
He did. I'm not saying that he deserves any of the
I'm just
backlash,
saying,
but
like,
he did those things. I'm saying Jimmy didn't do anything.
it sucks,
And
but it's
he's
part of life.
still
You're a
getting-
celebrity, dude. Lean into it. You make a joke
I know,
about it. You're a
but that's why
comedian.
we have laws
Come
against
back with
libel.
something funny, dude. You let a fucking quarterback beat you in a comedy fucking battle, dude.
But
Are you kidding me right now?
I don't know if
kidding
Aaron
me?
was necessarily joking.
Oh my God, bro. He's joking the way it's like, who cares if of course he's joking. Do you think Aaron Rodgers looked at that list and knew who was on the list and who wasn't? Of course he's joking. Oh my, the Pat McAfee show has a disclaimer at the beginning of it. We're a bunch of fucking idiots that talk nonsense. Do they have to show this to Jimmy Kimmel? Do they have to explain
but that doesn't mean that they're immune from libel.
Oh my
We're
God.
in an age where you can't just say whatever you want and have no repercussions, especially in the height of cancel culture, right or wrong. You can't just say whatever you want and accuse people of things and not expect backlash.
You can
And at the
make
same time,
jokes.
you can't
It's
destroy
called comedy.
He
It was a
literally
comedy show.
destroyed this guy's character in 5 seconds.
Oh my God. Well, you know what, dude? If you believe that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be on this list, if you woke up this morning thinking, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to read," then you know what? I don't. Then you shouldn't be allowed to You shouldn't be able to consume entertainment. It's not for you. You're a serious person that has to deal with serious issues. You take care of all the world's problems. Let us have some fun over here on the side. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to explain.
You're the Joker. You're literally the Joker. You want to just destroy things for fun. We're talking about
what are we destroying?
A guy's
What did we
life, his
destroy?
livelihood, his reputation.
What happened?
He's
not on the list.
Yeah, he's
was
not
a
on the
joke.
list, but everyone's going to think he is just because it was put out there.
Dude, if he did the long con,
you're going to have brands that don't want to work with him. You're going to have guests.
If the list was going to come out in, let's say, July, and he just dropped it right now and continued over the course of the next 4 or 5 months being like, I don't know. I mean, look, dude, I don't know why people keep asking me about this. I don't know if Jimmy Kimmel's on the list. I don't know. But I mean, would it be the most shocking thing in the world? No. If he continued to make jokes, number one, I would enjoy those jokes. And number two, I would understand more of the resentment towards what is going on here, okay? But this was one innocuous joke. I think I used that word right. And that was it. The only reason it became a fucking story is because the guy took it seriously. Which guy? The comedian. And look, dude, I love Don. I love everyone. I've been at the Kimmel show. I love Jimmy. It doesn't matter. I don't have to suck anyone's dick. I'm just saying here, I'm calling it as I see it on this one. And for a pretty fickle cunt most of the time, he made a dumb joke and the comedian got serious about it. That's what happened here. And the only reason anyone is upset about it is because if it would have just been over, no one picked it up. Do you know what got picked up yesterday? More than this, because fucking Bill Belichick said if he was gonna retire, he was gonna announce it on the internet or my face. Okay? Which, by the way, some people, for those of you who watch the league, we had one episode where my brother Taco on the show decides one of his new inventions, he's going to create his own social media company called My Face, where he walked around, took pictures of strangers, went home, and then put a pinboard and where he saw them and like connected string from one to the other. And that was the My Face wall. And we would go over and look at it. So anyway, Deadspin picks it up and like writes a story about it. And then all of a sudden I got it sent to me and I was like, oh, this is funny. Like I wasn't like, I had to be, they wrote a story. Someone else connected the dots. My point is, had he just said that, nobody, I do not believe anyone in the world would have been like, Aaron Rodgers knows that Jimmy Kimmel is on the fucking Epstein list. What journalist is going to write, Aaron Rodgers knows for a fact that Jimmy Kimmel is on the Epstein list? Who's going to write that? What validity do you believe that Aaron Rodgers has the Epstein list before everybody else? Give me a break, dude. What are we talking about here? What are we discussing, Brendan? We've said horrible things on this, dude. I have said horrible things. Mostly you guys, you try to sidestep them, but, it's all for fun. This is fun.
I guess what did Rodgers think was going to happen when he said that?
He thought
Did he think like Kimmel wouldn't respond?
He thought he was going to get huge laughs and everyone was going to be like, how edgy, this guy's awesome. What a personality.
Yeah, because it's a fucking joke, dude. The same way if we were doing a podcast and Ari was on and we were like, hey, are you going to be on Epstein's? Like it would be, it's a joke. It's a joke that you would make to other people, and you would do it to, even if you did it to an enemy, you'd still be like, it's a joke. Like it's not serious. Like you have to understand that. I can't, I'm like, I had the same argument with my wife yesterday. I really did. I'm like, I sometimes I wonder, babe. She's like, that's not funny. And I'm like, first of all, I love you so much, but like, you don't know, like she's funny, but like, you don't know everything that's funny. I know, like, I'm not saying I'm the funniest person in the world, but I know what is funny. Even if I can't do it, I know what it is. I know what it looks like. I know what it smells like. I know how it's built. I know why it's there. Not everyone has that. And just trust the people that do.
For the record, I'm not saying that it's not funny. I'm saying that we live in an age where you are very much held accountable for the things you say. And this is exactly what I would expect to happen.
Jokes can't be one of them, dude.
They are, though. They have been for several years. That's why
I know, but they can't.
Exists. And this is
like one of
the highest level, like right now in our culture, in our society, being on the Epstein list is like the highest crime that you can commit. And
I'm sure, I guarantee you
that.
I guarantee you, if
held
you
responsible and accountable for that.
Brenton, if you run through how many years of Jimmy Kimmel show now, probably 20 years. I think it was 2001 or 2 when that show started. You could have him. I'm sure you could get a clip reel together of him slightly accusing people, and especially in politics, the fucking Mitt Romneys and the fucking people that he's gone up against. Once he started sliding to the left more, all the fucking, I don't know, all the Republican guys that they hate, but I'm sure he's accused them all, Rand Paul's and all these guys, of some Jim Joyce, some shady shit that may or may not have been true, but why not throw it out there? It's the same fucking thing, dude. And everybody laughs because it's yeah, absolutely. So what are we talking about?
It's also that's his forum. So you go there expecting that. And here's the thing. He has a lot of influence and a lot of power, and don't poke the bear.
It's a weak pussy
Aaron Rodgers. Move. I know it. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying this is not surprising at all. He's very powerful, and you poke the bear, and the bear bite back. And Rodgers needs to cool off for a bit. Otherwise, he probably will end up in court.
The greatest comeback ever is the Joe Kelly. I would have sent, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would have sent him a Joe Kelly with the crying emoji right on the fucking shirt. You baby bitch, dude. You're not on the list. Nobody came to your house. Don't pretend that they did. Okay? You got to hate mail for a day on the online because you made a joke. How many times has Tom said that Bert was in a car accident or had a heart attack or something like that for 15 minutes and let people believe that shit? It happens all the time because people make jokes about each other. That's the way it works. I know they're friends and this is different, but give me a fucking break, dude. It's a joke. You're the comedian.
Sidebar.
Take the higher ground and accept.
Who is on the list?
Yeah.
Some surprising names.
Give me the most surprising name to you.
Michael Jackson.
That's not surprising to me. Like, dude, he's a pedophile.
I didn't know they had boys there.
What do you think? They only what? I think when you go to the Four Seasons, they only have steak. They got salmon too. They got fucking chicken. They got everything you want, dude. You think Ellen went there for fucking, just she went there for pussy too. Everybody went there for whatever they want. You get whatever you want at Epstein's Island. I'm sure it's a full buffet.
Yeah, it's a Waffle House menu.
What name is more shocking to you guys, Stephen Hawking or Michael Jackson? Because they're both.
Oh, no way is Stephen.
Oh yeah.
How is that, bro? What?
Keep in mind, Stephen Hawking had several divorces because he was having affairs with his nurses.
Wait, does his dick work? I thought he was paralyzed. Wait, this is shocking news to me. Wait, Stephen Hawking's not paralyzed?
Well, he's dead.
He's dead.
No. Oh, he's dead. Well, I mean, when he was alive,
and he was paralyzed. You're right.
Yeah,
but,
so like Christopher,
everybody.
Like if you told me Christopher Reeve was on the plane, that would be as shocking. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are they gonna do? Kiss him? Like, what do they do to him? Suck his useless dick? Like, what is that? What good do you? I don't know. Like, does that make sense to you? Am I the only one not making this connection here? What would a paralyzed from the neck down person be interested in Epstein's Island? I mean, I'm sure they might just sit on his face. Like, you got to sit on Stephen Hawking's face till he tells you to get off. Right? I guess there's activities. Anyway, that's shocking to me. That's probably the most shocking. Who are the other ones that are shocking or surprising at least?
I mean, it's the same. It's the Clintons.
Yep.
I mean, apparently
Prince Andrews.
numerous time. Yeah. Donald Trump, but wait, David Copperfield was kind of shocking to me too. Whoa. As a musician fan or a magician fan growing up.
Interesting, David Copperfield.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are these? Does it? Because I haven't really looked at any of this shit today. But like, does it say like specifically this is flights to Epstein's Island? Not like, hey, I borrowed his plane one time and on a like I didn't know whose plane I was renting. It was his, and I went to Greece or whatever.
Right. No, that's the thing with Trump. Like, I think he was just on the plane, but they weren't going to the island. They were going to like New York or Palm Beach.
Yeah, I want like when the manifest comes out, like when.
But like Copperfield allegedly performed tricks at one of the homes for guests. So like,
of course he.
Yeah, they're all different. Yeah.
What else is he gonna do?
Yeah, I got to share this real quick, just so you guys.
Magicians are arrogant that way, though, right?
Yeah.
Like. They like comedians. We don't go just start telling jokes at parties and shit like that. If you get into a rhythm, you just kind of tell a story or whatever. But like, I don't just go like, "Hey, everyone, I want to do 15 minutes right now."
Right.
Magicians just love pulling out those fucking tricks and shit. They just do.
I'm gonna make these pedophile allegations disappear.
Oh man, if they can only. I mean, is this all we're getting, by the way, or are we getting a little more juice?
I gotta imagine
how many pages? There's like 900 some pages, and they're just starting to go through them. So I'm sure we're going to get a lot more in the next week or so.
Alex Trebek. You're like, what? Alex Trebek.
Steve, don't do that. Okay. Aaron Rodgers just got in trouble. We don't need anyone tweeting.
I didn't say Alex Trebek was on Epstein's list.
Okay. Just that's closed. And now we're talking about Jeopardy.
Pull that clip. Alex Trebek was on Epstein's list.
But phrased in the form of a question.
Who is Alex Trebek? What is Epstein's list? Look, I hope we get some more names. I'm sure there's, there are people that are like, but maybe it'll come up later on. Probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any
I'd
women
imagine.
besides like
No,
what?
I've seen
not yet, at
Oprah's
least.
name thrown out a lot.
I kept hearing Ellen too. I had a whole argument with Tracy about Ellen. She said women aren't predators. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Ghislaine Maxwell ran this whole fucking thing. So you don't tell me
Yeah.
Yeah.
women are not predators. But I heard. I mean, I don't want to hurt. There's other people that I heard too, but they're actually comedians. I don't want to do it. But if I did, it would be a fucking joke. Look, you guys weren't on the list. I wasn't on the list. A bit disappointing. Maybe we'll make it next year. Is this plane still running? Is the island still operational? Is there still time?
Is the island for sale?
It is. I think somebody bought it actually.
Oh, of course.
How do you power wash an entire island?
Too late.
Yeah, they actually got it at a discounted price. It's probably a good buy.
Yeah.
The asking price was 125 million. They got it for 60.
All right. I guess let's move on from Epstein's Island. Let's go to the NFL. First of all, I want to say congratulations to you guys. I've never seen anything like this. I'm so excited for this weekend, and usually the last weekend of the year is, there's some games that you like, one or two, but like there's a couple. They did a good job this year with setting it up. I can't believe that the scenarios for the Bills, what they put themselves in, where they can legitimately win this game and be the second seed, the first team to not get a bye, the best team to not get a bye, hosting all the way through except for would be the AFC Championship if the one seed made it. Or if you lose to a tough team on the road, and two other things have to happen. Now, how hard are those things? Well, it just so lines up that the Baltimore JV Ravens are going to be playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers win, which they very well could, and Jacksonville has to lose, right, to the Tennessee Titans, or win?
For the Bills to get in?
To get out.
Oh, to get out. I was just under the impression Pittsburgh has to lose.
I think that the Jacksonville game is dependent upon it too.
I think the Jacksonville game affects the Colts and the Texans more than it does the Bills. I think it's if the Steelers win and the Colts and Texans don't end it in a tie and the Bills lose, then they'd be out.
Wait, those things could happen, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're hoping for a Colts Texans tie.
It's because how are they tied? Isn't that game for the division?
Yeah, but it's a regular season game, so you could go to overtime and not score in overtime, and it could end in a tie.
Even if it has playoff implications, they're going to leave it as a tie.
It's the regular season.
So
you can't change that rule just to accommodate playoff.
Anyway, the point is, it's remarkable and it's crazy, and it would be very sad to see if they didn't make it. It would be really, because how well they've been playing the last couple of weeks, and I think it's nuts that all those things can go. And you got to look at Miami coming in, licking their wounds from just getting decimated, and a lot of questions to answer, which they did not cover on Hard Knocks. Why was Bradley Chubb in the game at the end of the game? What was going on there? What was the game like? Where it's always like stay together. This is but like, what was the game plan? You guys got run up and down the field. It was close for a quarter, maybe a little bit, but not that close.
I think Bradley Chubb wanted to stay in that game because he was trying to get his wedding cake.
Yeah, bro, if that's the truth, I know it's the dumbest thing. I mean, like, look what happened. That's ridiculous.
It's clearly a joke.
Yes, you have to. Well, he was saying, because McDaniel was saying, well, I asked them if they want to stay in the game, and they said yes. But like, at some point, you got to hello.
They should not have been in the game.
Yeah. So
they were down by 30 points with 5 minutes to go. At that point, you pull them out, but then it doesn't even happen.
Other team had their most important players off the field.
Yeah.
The winning team. I mean, give me a break. You're already in the playoffs.
I mean, when Mike White fumbled the ball on the pitch and the Ravens got it on the 10-yard line and you're down by 30 some points, like there's no reason to have anyone of significance in.
And that brings me to my next point. People have been killing Dan Campbell for going for it 3 times in a row. Okay. And, the first time he got it, I got to say, this guy is unbelievable. I watched when that play happened and they called the penalty, he literally lost his mind for 30 seconds and they kept the camera on him. And, you think of Dan Campbell, oh, he's a former player, he's a linebacker, he's a meathead, he's going to go nuts. What's going to happen when he loses control? He literally lost his mind for 30 seconds and then immediately snapped back into it, headset back on, what's going to be the next play, and just moved on. And, they got the penalty on the second try, and the third try was just a bad throw from Goff. If he makes a good throw, there's a 50-50, 70-50, 70-25 chance that thing's going in. He's going to make it. So I think Dan Campbell, you go, why is he going for it? They move back 5 yards. What the fuck's going on? Then when I heard him say after the game, hey, I'm in the playoffs already, okay? I'm right here. I can win or lose the game on one play. I don't want to go play in overtime. I don't want to go run my offensive defense, one team's out there again, and risk someone getting hurt. I want to win the game right now on the 1 or 2 yard line or even the 5 yard line. Let's do it right fucking now. And you know what? I get that. I respect that. I totally do. They did not have to. That was not a must-win game for them. It would have been really fucking great if they did. But it was not a must-win. They were already in the playoffs. So to me, I'm like, that is a great coach. That's a player. I believe in my guys that can win it on a play right now rather than going out there and risking the chance of someone getting hurt for what? Maybe a better seed. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Well, look, man, Brandon Staley is the same kind of guy. Let's go for it. I think Dan Campbell's costing his team wins, and the Lions could very well be the 1 seed if he wasn't as aggressive as he is. So it is a good mentality. It's a good culture to build around, but there are moments where you should just be like, yeah, let's take the point. Let's keep playing instead of putting everything on the table. And it's like, we're either winning now or losing now. Because they had momentum. They could have won that game in overtime. They could be the 1 seed. San Francisco could lose to the Rams this week. They could get their bye and home field advantage.
And we'll have that conversation if it's Lions going to San Francisco in the NFC Championship.
We all know Jared Goff's home road splits and how important getting a higher seed is for that team.
He's great at home, and they will have a home playoff game.
And Dan Campbell earlier in that game had opportunities to kick field goals and take points. And you see it a lot of coaches this year. They're following these analytics and they're not taking field goals when they could just take field goals. And it's costing their teams wins. Just take points. If the points are there, take the points. This is a very hard league. Scoring is down this year. Take the points. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be a hero. Just take the 3 points. Get off the field, get your defense back out there, get the ball back.
Situationally, though, dude, you may have an argument.
Situationally,
first,
look,
second, third,
the
fourth,
first
whatever,
time,
it comes
absolutely. First time, go for it. Go for the win. But from the 7 yard line, that's just reckless. That's reckless, Steve. That's reckless.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, well, then you got to be okay with losing. Because that's what's going to happen to Detroit is they're going to keep losing games because they can't win big games because
I don't think he runs that same situation in the playoffs. You're not going to have a situation where he's going to try to win the game right then. You're going to try. Well, he might try to win the game right then and but if you get penalty, like he's not going to be like, well, I'm not going to play for overtime in the playoffs. Of course, you're going to
first time making the playoffs, so we don't know that. But through the regular season, his track record is very aggressive, and they've lost games because of it.
I think that he obviously would be able to have understandable restraint, things like that. When when you're in a playoff game, one and done, there is no tomorrow. Sometimes you make different decisions than you do in other situations. It's a completely different animal. So, I mean, that's why I didn't kill him for that. But yeah, no. As far as Buffalo goes, what are your feelings? Are you hopeful? Are you optimistic? What are you?
This is the Bills' games to lose. I mean, the Dolphins, they've already ruled out Waddle, Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb is obviously done for the year. Their offensive line is banged up. Like Miami is coming in completely beat up, and they're coming off of a 40-point loss. So
Also,
go ahead.
they just reported that Tyreek Hill's house fire was started by a child with a lighter.
What house fire?
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Tyreek Hill's house was caught on fire yesterday.
What? The whole house?
Yeah, good portion of it. I mean, wasn't quite like Andre Rison, but
Wow.
So he had to leave practice in the middle of practice, and now that's a big distraction as well. So they have a lot of bad things going on in Miami. This feels like it's Buffalo's game to lose. Feels like the Miami fans and their whole we're the division champs and Tua's our guy and everything. It seems to be shifting. There's a SI article out now. Miami needs to draft a quarterback, and is Mike Daniels the guy? Like it feels like Buffalo could come in, and the only thing that I see happening that the last couple of weeks, Buffalo's offense and Josh have been playing down to their competition. I could see them playing down and having a bad game. That being said, the defense has been absolutely on fire since the Jets game, 5-6 games ago, whatever that was. They've been playing amazing football. So Buffalo is in a position where they feel like, Josh is saying this, we have to win this game. We're not relying on other people. This is a must-win playoff game. That intensity's been there for a month, and it's going to be very difficult for Miami to beat Buffalo.
I believe that too. I'm picking Buffalo. I am. I mean, I'm if you want to make that one of our picks, and a little spoiler alert right now, but I think that they're going to go in and they're going to win. I think Miami's on their heels. I don't necessarily, buy into the fact that they may not think that they have the guy. I think they may have the guy. They just ran into some bad luck. And I mean,
yeah, Miami's defense is banged up. And if you go and look at the last 6 games Josh has played Miami, his stats are ridiculous.
The weather will be nice down there. You're not going to deal with the weather.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be 70 and it's a night game, no heat, no sun.
So it'll be best case scenario conditions wise. So, we'll see what happens. I think I'm surprised. I mean, Miami's still in then. They'll just have to go on the road.
They will play, honestly, depending on how the weekend shakes out, they could end up playing Buffalo in Buffalo next week.
In Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Is that how? Yeah, that's okay.
Which I would not care for. I'd rather see them go to Kansas City and play them.
Well, would you rather play Miami?
Buffalo,
would you rather?
No.
Would you rather go play the Browns?
I'd rather. Well, they wouldn't be playing the Browns.
Oh,
Browns are locked in at the 4 seed.
Yeah.
But I would rather, even if they go down there and they beat Miami by 30 points, I would not want to play that same team the very next week. I would rather play someone else and if we have to play Miami in 2 weeks, then we play them in 2 weeks. I would not want to play the same opponent back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. Well, this week forget it. Yeah, we'll get to the Giants. The Giants, I mean, it's not back-to-back against the Eagles, but
that was the best case scenario this last
I know. We were competitive and we lost.
Competitive and it came down to the wire and you get to keep your draft position. That is exactly what you want.
We want a top 5 pick and we can still get one.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I guess
that was great.
Yes.
You should have been cheering for that. You should have been going, oh my God, Hyatt looks amazing. Slayton looks good. I mean, this offense, even with Tyrod, actually looks good. Waller isn't necessarily a complete bust. The defense is playing good against an offense that has been surging. Like, this is what you want.
I want Wink Martindale back next year. I want our defense to take steps forward with him. I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I mean, he gambles a lot, but I like the blitz. And let's just go after people. Let's get a good secondary in place so that we can defend the back end. But yeah, I mean, it sucks to lose, I guess. You want to beat Philly. I'd rather, I know
don't beat Philly.
I know. It's the right thing not to do. And you're right.
Take your fandom out of it. Use your mind.
But definitely I would like to stay competitive because, it sucks to get the numbers run up. We did 42-0 against Dallas. We lost on the road against Dallas, $100 million to nothing. It's like, I want competitive. So, the Rams, I was surprised. That was as competitive because I would not want to play the Rams in the if I was in an NFC team, and they don't mind going on the road. They don't mind doing it at home. Their defense travels. Kyron Williams is, I mean, I think I saw a stat today that like Matthew Stafford's like 16-2 when he's got, or like 8-1, some crazy number when he's got Kyron, Puka, and Cup in the game in the same time. So it's like nuts. And they are playing well, and so I would not want to play them. But the Giants did a good job for the most part.
They did
They
a really
blitzed
good
the
job.
shit out of them.
Yeah.
And so they showed what the recipe could be.
Yeah, and
for next year and for the the playoffs to beat the Rams.
Stafford's amazing at the way that he's able to evade the rush to get his arm angle. Like he throws it at angles that I don't think most people can, but he is very slow to escape the pocket. So if you can get pressure on him, like you're going to shut him down.
So yeah, no, I guess it was I wish I'm not. If the field goal was good, I would have been like, yeah, we won. Cool. It would have been decent, but I understand that
literally best case scenario for you.
Top 5 pick. That's what we're looking for. So
I mean, it's worst case for your kicker, but best case for you.
A competitive loss on Sunday would be fine.
Yeah.
And then so all right, before we get to picks and stuff, let's cover fantasy. Do you have any do you have the fantasy information in front of us?
Pulling it up. So I did not make the finals. I got motorboated by Amari Cooper in the first week. They're 2-week championships, and I had to face Amari Cooper. And that was the week that Buffalo played Dallas, and I had Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. So it was just not a good week. So congrats to Rice Pudding and the Scrubs. They're currently competing in the championship. Rice Pudding is up by 22 points roughly. But this week will be interesting because who knows how many of these guys on their lineups are actually going to play, how long they're going to play. And the Scrubs, he's got Jalen Hurts, Rashad White, Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Greg Dortch, Dallas Goedert, Joe Mixon, the Colts defense, and Jake Moody. And then Rice Pudding's got Gardner Minshew, Kamara, Taylor, Olave, Addison, Kraft, ETN, the 49ers defense, and Cameron Dicker. So of those guys, I could see Hurts playing one half of football, maybe.
Yeah.
If Tyreek and Mostert may not play, he's still banged up, so he might not play.
He killed me in my other league.
It's not like anyone could have called that a month ago.
Fucking Jackson beat me, my son.
Horrible trade. And that was for Deebo Samuel, right? The guy who has been absolutely lights out for the last month.
I mean, I did get the guy who led the NFL in touchdowns. So
you got this year's Jamal Williams, and he did nothing because he was out for the championship week. So
eat shit, Brenton.
Greg Dortch, he'll probably Dallas Goedert, he could be done by halftime. Joe Mixon, who knows? They might just run Brown because they want to see what they got and they're already out. But the Colts defense, they're going to have to play. They need to win. And then on the other side, Minshew, obviously he's going to go the whole game. Kamara had a really bad ankle injury, so I don't know if he's going to be – he might be done for the year unless they make the playoffs. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to go the whole game. Olave, he should be okay to go. He's questionable, though. Addison, Kraft, he'll have to play. The Packers need to win. ETN, he'll have to play. So it could be interesting. And then I'm playing my little brother for the third place game.
How are you guys doing on that?
I'm up by 32 points, and he called me. He does this because he's in multiple leagues, so he calls me for advice, and then he tries to sneak in the podcast league all the time. But I know his roster because I know his trick. So he's like, I'm thinking about who should I pick up quarterback, and so he's naming off these guys, and he's telling me he's got Stafford, and he's got who's resting, and Will Levis, who probably isn't going to play. So he's going, I'm thinking about picking up this guy and this guy. And I'm going, motherfucker, this is our league. So I went and I blocked him. I picked up a couple of quarterbacks that he was talking about. So he's got to start Nick Mullins. So if you're going to come at me, I'm going to be petty.
Man.
I'm going to be
Kevin
petty.
O'Connell doesn't want to start Nick
Yeah, I'm
Mullins.
going to be taking these guys while you're talking about them, because don't try to pull a fast one on me. I'm a big brother, and I'm gonna shut that shit down. You're not beating me, and I should win. I've got a pretty decent team, and I have a 32-point lead, so he would need a lot to happen. But congrats to you guys for finishing near the bottom. Lucas actually
First to worst.
did finish in the you're muted, Lucas, but you did finish dead last.
Yep.
With a 2-12 record.
Mm-hmm.
And you finished dead last in the Comedy Store League that we're in.
Very similar teams.
Yeah, so
both led by Joe Burrow.
Whatever you did this year, do the exact opposite next year, and you should be a little better.
Nick Chubb #1.
Dude, what are you gonna do with these fucking guys? I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's rough.
Justin Jefferson.
Nick Chubb
everyone
was gonna have. This was gonna be the year that Nick Chubb finally like became the household name of like, this is the best running back. He was set up to be so big, and it was going to be such a good year. But yeah, Coach Stefanski's coach of the year, right?
I mean, yeah, especially if the Browns continue the way that they're doing it right now.
Because he's starting his 5th quarterback this week. They're resting Flacco, and if they somehow win, then they'd be the first team ever to win with 5 different starting quarterbacks. He's already got the NFL record for the most wins with 4 more starting quarterbacks.
Dude, how crazy is it that on Halloween, Joe Flacco was on the practice squad, and now a month and a couple days later, he is being rested because he's that valuable as the starting quarterback.
Yeah,
for the playoffs. Fucking wild.
Well, he needs his rest. The last the Jets game, they showed him on the sideline. He was nodding off.
Yeah,
it was late.
He's exhausted, dude. Once you hit that lifestyle of just fucking easy living, it's hard to go back. But the guy still got a cannon. He still flings it.
Oh, he's doing amazing. It's amazing to watch. And
crazy. The
resiliency of the Browns to lose. I mean, it's not just that they lost their quarterback and then their other quarterback and then their running back and then, their offensive line, they're down like 5 guys. So that line that was like the best in football it's just decimated, and it's still they figured it out. The coaching there is probably, I would say, up there the best in the league.
Their defensive unit though is insane.
Their defense,
they have the best defense.
Yes,
they're in the league.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's stop sucking their dick and get on to our picks.
Okay.
I have some thoughts, and I've done something already. I mean, you can feel free to jump in if you'd like, but I've done it all in New York. I'm taking the Jets on the money line and the Giants on the money line.
That's.
I know you rooted for me not to do that, and it's not the. Let me tell you why.
How can you watch those teams and go, yeah, this is where we've lost so much money betting on those 2 teams this year, and let's let one more kick in the nuts.
Why not? Number one, I'm going to tell you
because I don't want to lose more money.
Number
I don't
one,
like losing.
The Jets are Robert Saleh, although he already knows he's got his job back next year. He realizes he cannot lose to the fucking Patriots for the 16th time in a row. Something has to be done. Something has to change.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Is Bill Belichick the coach of the Patriots next year?
No.
Then he's absolutely going to win that game because he doesn't give a fuck about that draft position.
I say he might not because he doesn't win this game.
I'm with Bill come on that. I'm with Brett on that.
I'll tell you why. Because what's going to happen is if they lose, their draft pick will go higher, and Robert Kraft has to ask himself, I've given this guy got to draft his own quarterback. He's got to buy the groceries and make the meal for the last umpteenth years. Do I want to let a 71-year-old man go and you only get one shot at these top 5 quarterbacks, and he fucked up this last one. We get all over the Jets.
He took Mac with 15.
Joe Douglas for Zach Wilson. You can get on the Giants but why don't we get on Bill Belichick for drafting Mac Jones, having it work, and then fucking it up?
He took him 15. He didn't necessarily trade up to get him.
Yeah, Mac Jones just fell.
Yeah. So I
It doesn't
think
matter,
if
dude.
the
He drafted him.
Patriots, if the
You
Patriots
draft a
are
quarterback in the
smart,
first 20. He should be your guy, right?
yeah. So if the Patriots are smart, and I think they are, because you don't win as many championships as they do without being smart. I think this is the other crap says, okay, Bill, you are a defensive genius. You've made a talentless team super competitive against some of the best teams in the league. You shut down one of the hottest offenses in football last week. I'm going to get you a GM. I'm going to get you somebody that can help you get the talent. And then you're such a good coach. You're so good at game planning. We're going to get you the guys, and you're going to figure it out, and you're going to win us another championship. I think they get him a GM, and he's still the coach, and someone else is going to analyze talent and get him a quarterback, and he's going to build around that. But the Jets are just so bad. I don't see them. I don't see it. Steve has disappeared. But
Sorry, I'm
yeah,
back.
okay.
Oh, sorry.
I don't see it, Steve. And it's like, there are 20 teams this weekend that are still playing for something significant as far as the playoffs are concerned. So why are we investing in two teams that have nothing to play for?
Yeah.
I would rather put my money in like Miami. Buffalo makes sense because they're going to be playing till the bitter end. The Texans and Colts make sense because they're going to be playing. The Steelers make sense if you think one way or the other because they're actually going to be competing. Jacksonville's going to be competing. Like, we could go down the list and figure this out.
I unfortunately just got a phone call that I have to pick up Jackson from school. Nothing bad. He just hurt his ankle. So I gotta go. But I will tell you before I leave that look, I told you why I think the Giants and the Jets are gonna win, or I wanted to, but there were other games that I thought for sure. Like, I think you want to take the Steelers and on the money line, or I'll even take them, give the 3.5.
Okay, let's just, because I'm trying to see this again. Like, okay, I can give you the Jets, sure. I can give you the Jets, but why in the world would you think the Giants even have remotely a chance of winning this game when the Philadelphia Eagles know the narrative against them now? Everyone thinks they're losers. They're going to want to come out. They're going to punch the Giants in the throat, and they're going to be resting everybody by the second half. And they're going to go, look,
you, Brenton.
But you know that's going to happen. That's not a good pick. I know it's hypocritical of me to say that's not a good pick because I've made a lot of really bad picks, but that is a stupid, reckless pick.
Talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I'm not putting that one in.
right.
I could give him. I'll give him the Jets. We'll give him the Jets on the money line, but that's also a stupid fucking pick. Who do you like?
Well, I got two. I mean, I like the Bills. I thought Steve was going to take them. I think that's just a gimme.
Do you like the Bills on the money line or covering 3 points?
I like them covering 3 points.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The other team,
This is the game. This is a game they should win. All the narratives are against Miami, but this has also been a very unpredictable year. So who knows what's going to happen, and what Josh are we going to get? Because Josh last week was very inaccurate. He ran the ball well, but he was very inaccurate, and the offensive line didn't have a good game, and they let the Patriots hang around. So, and it was the same deal in Los Angeles against the Chargers. All the narratives were against the Chargers. There's no reason why Buffalo shouldn't blow them out, and Josh didn't have a great game. The defense played really well, but Josh didn't have a good game, and it came down to a bunch of laterals at the end. That game, they could have easily lost, and we wouldn't be playing for a division. So, but yeah,
I'm also tempted to take the Raiders over the Broncos.
I would
just
say
because
yes.
I feel like
I agree with that, just because the Raiders really want their coach. They want Antonio Pierce, so there's a motivation there to get that win and really tell the ownership that they like the guy. And Devontae Adams had that press conference where he came out and basically said that he's got my vote. Like, I want him. And that's like the first positive thing he's said about being a Raider since they kind of have screwed him over. So they're giving 3 points at home. Do you like the -3 or do you want the money line?
Oh, I have that at 2.5. So I mean, give me the Bills for sure. We don't need to add a second game unless you want to.
Okay. I kind of like
You do like that pick?
I get -3 plus 100. So I like that pick. The Raiders by a
Okay.
field goal.
Okay. Because the Broncos are playing Stidham too. So I mean
And then
I think they'll just peter out of the season.
I can't do it on Bet DSI, but I so wish that you could bet on a tie because the odds are probably insane for that Texans Colts game. But the Texans should win that game. I think the Steelers, honestly, the Steelers with Mason Rudolph against all the backups, they should win, but the Ravens at home, I don't know. I could see the Steelers just fucking that up and making it much easier for Buffalo as that first game, but I don't want to touch that game.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go with, I mean, the easiest one is Tampa on the road to beat Carolina, taking them on the money line.
Which means it probably won't happen.
Well, Tampa has to win, and Carolina is they're just a really, really, really bad football team.
Yeah.
But the other one that interests me is the Bears getting 3 points in Chicago in Green Bay. Chicago is one of the hottest teams in football right now. Whether you like it or not, they're playing as good a football as anybody, and Justin Fields has been absolutely lights out. So I also really like that, and I would take Chicago to cover the 3 points.
I love that pick.
It gives us a lot of juice. We got the Jets. Let's see. We got the Jets on the money line. We've got the Bills -3. We've got the Raiders -3. We got the Bucks on the money line and the Bears +3. So the last regular season bet, $50 is going to
520.
$1,091.37.
All right.
So a lot has to happen, but I like it, and we're not touching the fucking Giants.
Billy's gonna kill him.
Yeah, he's got too much of his fandom in it. The Eagles, they have to make a statement going in. They have to get everyone confident again. Nick Sirianni is going to have them ready, and the Giants are basically limping to the finish line, and they want their draft picks. So I'm sure Dable is going to get a talking to, and hey, let's rest some of these guys and let's take it easy.
As they should. I mean, as a fan, I will root for the Bills, even if they're out of contention. If it's like, if they're if the players of the future are playing in the game. But I remember when the Bills were winning games and they had Kelly Holcomb as their quarterback, and you knew Kelly Holcomb wasn't coming back next season. So what's the point?
Yeah. No,
biggest Giants.
If we're not in the playoffs, I want to lose. I want to be competitive, and I want there to be the moral victories and the team to play hard and the team to be well coached. But I want to lose by missing a last-second field goal every week. That would be amazing.
That is the way.
Especially with the draft class coming up. It's going to be the best draft class of our lifetime.
Are they saying that?
I would say it.
Okay.
Considering all the prospects on offense, once in a lifetime, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Bowers, and then the quarterbacks are stacked, and then on the defensive side, there's a lot of really good pieces, good offensive linemen. It hasn't been better. Not in my life. I'm 36, and I have never seen prospects there's been one or two guys that are this is the guy, and this draft there's going to be 10 guys.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some stag draft classes, and then there's been some really shitty ones. 2013 comes to mind. That's when the Bills, I think, took EJ Manuel in the first round. But that whole draft class is pretty pathetic. But I do think Kelsey came out of that draft and a couple other superstars. But otherwise, you look at the first round, it's 2/3 of them aren't in the league. Mm-hmm. Maybe one or two are Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But we're going to win. We're going to win. The Bills are going to win. We're going to win our bet. We're all going to make money. and it's going to be the best weekend of our lives.
Damn right.
And
Let's hope we don't play Miami next week.
If we do, we'll play them at home, and it'll be very cold and very snowy. And
That's true.
They still won't have a lot of their pieces. So Miami is probably, regardless of the outcome of this weekend, Miami's probably a one and done team in the playoffs.
I hope so.
But that's the podcast, guys. Thanks for listening. We will be back next week to either really cry or celebrate and mock every Dolphins fan that thought the Bills season was over by week 10. We're coming for you. It's our game to lose, and you should be very nervous. And we love you guys.
And maybe some more Epstein names.
Yeah, hopefully. But we'll see you next week. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy.